class. Today in math we are on this page in the little math packet that I had given to you earlier. This is the Dear Family letter. You guys should be familiar with that, right? So this is our Dear Family letter, and what I'd really like you to do is to make sure and take it to mom or dad or whoever's in charge at your house right now and read through it with them. I just really feel that it's important to have them see what we're going to be doing, that we are doing 3-digit addition and showing the different methods that we use the new groups below. Even though I've told you in the past, though, it's okay to use the new groups above too, but this is also the show all totals. Now, as we've talked about this in the past, I've told you that the show all totals method, it's a good method to have, but it's not one that you absolutely have to use all the time. It takes a lot longer. This is your faster way if you can learn how to do this one, which I'd really prefer that you do. So make sure that you read the Dear Family letter with mom or dad. You don't need to sign my name at the bottom this time. So that's the first thing I wanted to tell you. That's on page 325. Okay, the next thing that we are going to look at is this. This is on page 327. It is called Solve and Discuss. You're going to solve each word problem, but you also have to be ready to explain what you did to get your answer. So the number one thing, we will go through this first one together, and then, so we'll do number one together. Number 2, 3, and 4, I would like you to do on your own, and then I would like you to sit down with someone and explain to them what you did. We'll show you a little bit what I was thinking of. So put your name on your paper, just like we always do. Okay, let me remind you what the 4 things that every word problem needs. If you recall, every word problem needs number 1, an equation, 2, do you remember what number 2 was? Number 2 is proof drawing. Number 3 is a final answer. Number 4 is a label. Now we have even expanded on that a lot in what we do in Miss Staley's class. If you recall, we go ahead and we circle important numbers. So I'm going to do that right now. Even before we read through the problem, anytime I see a number, I'm going to circle it, just to remind you. So I've circled my important numbers. Then as we read through it, any words that will help us know better what to do to solve the problem, we put a square around that. And then we always put a line underneath our question. So let's read through it right here. It says, Mrs. Ruth makes a display of plant and fish fossils for the library. She puts in 478 plant fossils. She puts in 67 fish fossils. How many fossils are in the display? Well, right off the bat, I know that I am going to underline my question. The thing that we're looking for is how many fossils are in the display. So if we go back, she put in 478 plant. So I'm going to put a box around plant, just so I will remember that there are plant and fish fossils, and then another box around the fish fossils. And then another important keyword, if you'll notice what I did, is how many. How many. So if they want to know how many, that usually means how many all together. So we are going to solve this together, so you should have your piece of paper. And then I am going to do mine on our math board. That might be easier for you. So the first thing that we need to do and remember is that these are addition. So we need to know if we need to make a new 10. I'm going to come over here and put my box. Most of us probably don't need to use that box, but a lot of us still do if it helps us in figuring out how to do that. So I look at my 8 and my 7 and I say, if I add 8 and 7 together, is that more than 9? Well, of course it is, right? So 8 plus 7. I'm going to give you just a second to think about what 8 plus 7 is. And then we are going to put it in the box, our answer. Okay, 8 plus 7 is 15. Now, if you recall, so of course that's more than 9, we look in the number 15, the 5 is representing ones. So I draw an arrow down, and my 5 is going to go into the ones place. And then that new 10 that I made, I'm going to draw an arrow and put that new 10 in the tens place. So we're done with the ones place. So now what we have to worry about are the numbers in the tens place. So now we have a 1, a 7, and a 6 that we are adding together. Again, we have to decide, if I add all those numbers together, will I have more than 9, where I would need to have to make a new 100? So I am putting these at the top to remind you that ones place, and then we have tens place, and then we have hundreds place. That's what the HTO mean, hundreds, tens, and ones, right? So if I add 1 plus 7, that gives me 8. Then 8 plus 6 is, let me give you a minute to think about it. Okay. I want you to think about this. Okay. We know that that is 14. So I am going to put the 4 to show the 4 groups of 10, and then I'm making that new 100, or 14 groups of 10, but I can't keep 14 right down here. I've noticed that some people have started doing that again, where they have put the 1 here to show 14. Yeah, we do have 14 groups of 10, but guess what? That new 100 does not belong there. That's when I either put it up here or I can put it down here. That is showing the new groups below. Remember, I said you can do it either way. When we carry over like this, I don't care which way you use, you just need to remember to add it in. But you have to show that you either have made, like we did here, we made a new 10, and then here we made a new 100. 4 plus 1 is 5. So our final answer is 545. And do you remember what we're doing and what we're looking for? What would our label be? So we know what our number is. Our label is going to be fossils. So you want to write that down. And we don't write down plant fossils, and we don't write down fish fossils, because they wanted to know how many fossils altogether were in the display. And so that's why our final answer is just fossils. Now, on this part right here, yours is going to look like that. Okay, I just wanted to do mine a little bit bigger. So that's what will go there. So how did I know what to do here? Do you remember all of our different steps? Well, let's go over it one more time. When you look at the numbers. Remember, in the ones place, you decide, do I have more than 9? Well, I'd have to make a new 10. And that's why I decided 8 plus 7 was 15. Yes, I would. That is more than 9. And so I wrote up my box. I took my number that was in the ones place, drew an arrow so I could put that there. Then I took my new 10, drew the arrow, put it up here, added it together, and then I came up with 14 groups of 10, but we can't put the 14 there, so we have to carry over those extra 10s, right, into the 100s place, and there's 1 plus 4 is 5, and that's what gave us 545 fossils all together. Now, on this other side, it is showing you that they want you to practice 3-digit addition. It says add using any method and make a proof drawing if it helps. I just wanted to go through one of these with the show all totals method for those of you that enjoyed doing that. So we are going to we're going to do this one. So if you look at it's number 5, because number 1, 2, 3, and 4 is on that side. On this side, then our first one is number 5. So if you want to get your pencil ready, we are going to do 375 plus 482. And we are going to do this in the show all totals method, just to help you remember what that is. And then you can decide. I would like you to try at least a few of these on this page with the show all totals method. The rest you can do the way that I prefer, which is this way, which is new groups above or new groups below, where we just carry that new 10 or the new 100 straight over. It's faster. I like using it a lot better, and I bet even your moms and dads probably would think that. But I still want to give this other method to you just because it helps some of you see the place value more. So let's see if you remember how to do this. You see the hundreds, tens, and ones when you're adding them, and that is really what is helpful. And you can actually see these as far as place value. You always start with the hundreds. Now I am going to put here at the top the H for the hundreds, T for the tens, the O for the ones to remind you which group is which. We are going to take the two numbers in the hundreds place, which are 3 and 4. So if we have 300 plus 400, how many groups of 100 is that? What would the answer be? 300 plus 400 would be, I'm going to give you a few seconds to think about it. Of course, we know what 3 plus 4 is, so it would be 700, right? And so I am writing that down. So this is hundreds. I'm just going to put an H-U-N-D to show hundreds. I'm abbreviating it. So see, if mom and dad don't understand, you can tell them. See what Miss Staley did? She added just the hundreds. 300 plus 400 equals 700. So that's what I did. Next, we are going to do the tens. We are going to add our groups of 10 together. So I have 7 groups of 10, and then I have 8 groups of 10. So if I add 7 groups of 10, and I add 8 groups of 10, I want you to think what that would be. Okay, I'm going to give you a minute to think about it. You know, it's better if I give you a minute to think about it instead of just showing you the answer. Let me give you the little hint. Think about what 8 plus 7 is. You know what 8 plus 7 is, but we are adding groups of 10, so it's going to have something special at the end because we'll be in the hundreds by the time we add 8 groups of 10 and 7 groups of 10. 8 plus 7 is 15, but since now we have numbers that are over 100, we have to have that as 150. So now we have added together our hundreds, our tens, now the easy one. So we have our ones place. This one's easy. It's one that we already know how to do, right? 5 plus 2. Do we need to make a new 10? Nope, not on this one. 5 plus 2 is 7, right? Sometimes it will be more than 10, and then you would write it down as such. But right now, it's below 9. So now I can put my equal sign. Now we are ready to add it together. Now, let me ask you this question to see if you remember. When you have a problem like this, do you start adding these first? Or do you start adding from this side? Well, when you do the show all totals method, it doesn't matter which side. So we're going to do 7 plus 1 is 8. 0 plus 5 is 5. And 0 plus 0 plus 7 is 7. So our total with this is 857. There is how you do the show all totals method. Like I said, the way we do this is really helpful for people that are still needing help with the place value, seeing, oh, these are hundreds, these are tens, these are ones. And it's really helpful for that, for those people that need extra help with that. So on this page, remember what Ms. Staley said, I would like you to make sure and do at least 2 of these, not counting this one. You can't count this one as one of the 2, but choose 2 of these to do as the show all total methods, as we just did here. Then the others, you can do new groups above or new groups below when you're carrying it over to make a new 10 or carrying it over to make a new 100. Okay, good luck with this. When you are done with all of your paper, the front and the back, please take a picture of your assignment and then have Mom and Dad scan it and send it over to Miss Staley. I guess you could make a short little video and show me too. Either way, it'd probably be faster just to have Mom and Dad take a picture on their phone and send it over to me. They have my email. Okay, the fun's just beginning with our 3-digit addition. We'll be doing these for a few days, and then we'll start doing our 3-digit subtraction. And then, as promised, we will be doing a beginning multiplication unit the last few weeks of school, just like I told you to at the very beginning of the year. I'm excited about that. Okay, thanks so much. Hope you enjoyed your math lesson today. Bye.